Today is the 9th of January 2025 and I'm at Wisley on a cold, frosty morning. In fact, it's not as cold as back on our nursery. There's some frost on the ground, but not as much as what we have back at Herons. So why am I here at Wisley? I'm here to check over the trees to make sure that everything is okay, and those that need to be repotted or taken back for trimming, we will take it back to the nursery for working on. So let me give you a tour of Wisley. So we are in the depths of winter, and because in the south of England our winters are not that cold, we've had -3, -4. This coming week we may get possibly a -5. In Scotland they're going to have -10 or -20, I believe, but we don't get it as cold as up in Scotland. So what has Wisley done to protect the trees? Not a great deal, but sufficient. They've wrapped fleece around the pots for what it's worth. So this is all the winter protection that they do. And since these trees have been here for 28 years, since I started sponsoring the collection, most of these trees have come through quite well. 2 years ago, we did lose 2 trees because the winter was wet and cold. So we lost a trident maple and a couple of Chinese elms. So they were the ones that succumbed to the hard frost. But apart from that, they all seem pretty good. So looking around, I have here, this is a Deshojo. I think they need to be repotted this year. So I'll come again in February to take it back to the nursery for repotting. Most of the other trees are okay. This is a Tanuki Blaw's juniper, massive tree. The larches are very hardy, so I'm not worried about that. Zelkova is very hardy too, so I'm not worried about this one. And this is the Kokono pine, one of the few 5-needle pines from Japan which are very, very hardy. And of course all the junipers are hardy. This is the Juniperus chinensis Tohoku, which has got a very floppy habit. And this is the typical color of juniper. We call it the frost blush, the brown color. Please do not think that the trees are suffering or dying. This is the nature of the tree. Also, this variety of juniper produces a lot of berries, so it's covered in juniper berry. Look at it, hundreds and hundreds of berries on this tree. And this is a new tree that we brought here to display. This is a squamata juniper, massive tree. Look at it compared to Joe standing behind there. It's huge. So that's being tidied up. This is one of the, I think it's one of the chinensis. Don't know what variety, probably a golden variety. A 5-needle pine, or what we call a Japanese white pine. Got a slight winter blush to it. And this is the famous beech, European beech, Fagus sylvatica, which I started from a hedging plant back in 1986. So it's almost 40 years in the making. One of the first trees I created when I went to Herons in January '86, taken from my hedge, front hedge. This is one of our field-grown Scots pines. Needs rewiring. This is a female ginkgo without its leaf. Not many people know what it is. This is an Itoigawa juniper with lovely driftwood. Five-needle pine, and the variety is called Tenisu Kazu. Being developed as a garden tree. I might just put a few wires or bamboo sticks around it to enhance the formation of the branches. Being trained by Wisley staff. This is one of the new Pinus Thunbergii. Another of our Scots pines, trained from material grown at Herons. 100% indigenous and made at Herons, not collected from the wild. This is a Japanese holly, Ilex serrata, one of our trident maples. Sorry I can't show the pots because the pots are covered in fleece. Well, I've come to the end of the Herons Walk. Let's have a view of Wisley in wintertime. Always beautiful. Although we're in the depths of winter, there are quite a few visitors walking around. Those of you who remember Wisley, this used to be their vegetable demonstration gardens, returned to lawn. So many changes at Wisley all the time. And this is a good sign because it shows that Wisley is organic, it's growing, evolving. It's never static, which is good. Once a place becomes static, it won't be so interesting. The only thing static is probably our collection, which has been here for 28 years, from 1997. Walking on the other side of the aisle, this is our hawthorn group, one of our cork bark black pines. So although they are in the open and only covered with fleece around the pots, we will see how hardy the trees are. No winter protection, no greenhouse protection. And in the south of England, they seem to be okay. This is one of our rough bark Chinese elms which I've developed for the last 40 years, and the bark has rotted away naturally. It's not carved, absolutely natural. See how it's callousing on the inside as well. Natural style. That's one of the Chinese elms from China. I'm always conscious that I repeat myself because we keep showing you Wisley maybe 2 or possibly 3 times a year, but then people reassure me that nothing is boring because every time we show something new, it refreshes their memory and you get the enjoyment. This is what people love coming to Wisley for. They see the same trees, and although they're same trees, there's always something new about it. This, by the way, is a Japanese hornbeam, Carpinus laxiflora. Look at the buds. Although we are in the depths of winter in January, the buds show some signs of swelling and growth. And this is the typical winter color of Cryptomeria. They get this rusty brown tinge to it. And this is where the frost gets it and turns it brown. If you look inside the tree where the frost doesn't get it, the inside is green. So that's why we call it the frost blush. That pinky orange color is quite nice. It's one of our new trees, but we need to replace this. We just wanted to show some variety, but that will be changed. Trident maple, this is due for repotting. Look at the ramification. This comes from simply constant pruning back the twigs. Another large mountain maple of ours. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of our Wisley collection, the Herons Bonsai Walk. So this is what Herons Bonsai Walk is about. Herons Bonsai Walk is a major permanent bonsai collection in the UK. There you go. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tour. So until next time, this is Wisley in winter. Look at the silhouette of those beautiful oak trees. Majestic, absolutely majestic.